Hello, this is the Provoked Prawn, and this is the Rode NT1 Signature Series. This is a XLR studio microphone, and in this video I'm going to show you the setup with this tiny little device from Shure, which allows you to connect the microphone directly to your PC with a USB connection. Because this is an XLR microphone, which is similar to the 5th generation of NT1, but only comes with XLR, no USB. I'm also going to show you it with the Rodecaster Duo later on, because that's a fantastic interface for a number of reasons. That allows you to customize the sound and also access a variety of other things. A neat little tool. But for now, I want to unbox the NT1, show you what's included in the box, and talk about the highlights of it. I'm also using the microphone now for this voiceover with that Shure interface that you saw, so you'll see the options and the capture quality of the microphone, because it is, as you'd expect from Rode, a fantastic sounding microphone with a large diaphragm. And this is a condenser microphone which is designed with studio quality capture in mind, and that's why you get a number of things included in the box. Now, I really like this about the 5th generation of the NT1, which I've done a video on separately, but as you'll see when I'm unboxing these bits, you get a lot included in the box, including a little dust cover for the microphone itself, a pop filter and a shock mount, as well as an XLR cable. Now, it's really nice to have all these things included in the box, because you don't often get everything like that included in the package, and you've got mostly a complete package there. I say mostly because obviously you'll need an XLR interface and a boom arm still, and I'll show you the setup on the Rode PSA 1 Plus later on, but it is nice to have all those things. And quite often you'll find when you buy an XLR microphone you don't get a lot of those things, especially something as simple as an XLR cable can be a nice inclusion, and you get a 6-meter long one here as well. Rode's products are also really premium, and you do notice that when you start to get these things out of the box. Even the XLR cable is nice and chunky and just feels really good build quality, and obviously little additions like the dust cover to protect the mic when you're not using it so it doesn't end up getting all dirty. Simple little thing like that, and a really nice shock mount as well. Now, if you've seen the NT1 5th generation, you'll notice a lot of similarities here, both in what's included in the box and also the overall design of it. And that's because Rode's taken the 5th generation of its NT1 microphone and then has obviously just focused it on XLR, and also made the price a little bit more accessible because of it. Rode's also releasing a number of other limited edition colours for this microphone, although unfortunately I can't show this off because I only have the black version, but the black one does look pretty nice as well. And it is also a very good looking microphone with some highlights too. Notice on the underside you only have the XLR connection and then the threading to put into the shock mount, which I'll show you in a second. Pay attention to that gold dot just below the diaphragm of the microphone though, because that's where you need to talk into, and that's an important point and a mistake that I made with the NT1 5th generation, because if you speak into the wrong side you will have terrible audio, and that's because this is a condenser microphone which is designed with a cardioid pickup pattern from this side, so you need to make sure when you're putting it on the shock mount that you're putting it in a direction where you're going to easily be able to talk into it and direct it towards your mouth. You also want to get it close to your mouth, get the gain down nicely on your interface, and then set it up in a way where you can use it in a good environment to get good sound out of it. I'm happy to report that with the Shure interface that I'm using, it sounds pretty good, and I'll show you what's possible with the Rodecaster Duo a bit later on as well. So you'll see when you're putting it into the shock mount that you really need to pay attention to how you've mounted it, because you can see here that I've got it so the gold dot's actually facing off towards the side. So you need to turn it around and face it so the pop filter and the mic line up in the right way, and then obviously talking through the pop filter. This will ensure less problems with pops, and also that you don't get any spit on your microphone, which is less than ideal. So this is the basic setup, and you can see a very nice looking microphone here and a really premium finish on it too. This is a nice sturdy microphone with a good solid build quality, and I'll show you some sound tests and things in a minute, but you'll notice that the shock mount is also really good looking, and that is across the board in terms of the setup here, because it is really nice in a variety of ways, and it should be for the amount of money you're going to be paying for it, so that's something to keep in mind. But it also comes with a 10-year warranty, so Rode isn't skimping on any of the aspects of this microphone, so that's certainly a bonus as well. Another thing to keep in mind is the sheer weight of the thing. You'll see that the microphone itself, when I can get it to balance, is 310 grams, and that's just the microphone. The shock mount and setup there, it makes it a little bit weightier as well, so you're looking at nearly a kilogram, and that's obviously a significant amount of weight to be putting on a boom arm. Some boom arms will struggle with such amount of weight, so it is worth keeping that in mind depending on what you're purchasing, because you will need a mic arm that can handle such a thing. This is the Rode PSA 1 Plus, which naturally would work with a Rode microphone, you would hope. And the setup for that is also fairly simple because it's already threaded and ready to go on. You just need to hold it tight and screw it in there and set that up so it's in the right position. And this is a bit more difficult to manipulate around because you have to make sure you're angling things and twisting them. But I have found I could get it in the right spot for me. It's going to depend on your desk setup, but you can, you see, adjust it both on the boom arm and on the mic shock mount as well, and then obviously turn things as you need to or angle them around. Your XLR cable then plugs into the bottom and runs off to your interface, whatever you're using. And this is sort of roughly the position that you'd need to be in order to talk into the microphone and get your mouth close to it as possible. With a gain that's a little bit lower, perhaps if you're struggling with any issues with the room noise. So for example, I did find that with a higher gain it was picking up a bit of background sound. So what I've been using so far for this is the Shure MVX2U, which is a digital audio interface. Now this is a really simple setup here and reasonably affordable in terms of the XLR interfaces out there, because you can pay quite a lot of money for XLR interfaces to get them to run with your PC. And this one has a really straightforward setup to it as well, because it's basically a replacement for a full-blown interface, in one that either plugs into the microphone or into the XLR cable and then has a USB connection to your PC. Really straightforward. And then you just have to download the Shure Motive desktop app to be able to control it. And there are various tweaks that you can do to adjust the sound, including a limiter and some various different presets so you can adjust it. It also does phantom power, which is an important point to note because this microphone does require 48 volts of phantom power, so make sure you've got an interface that can do that. All of this from a tiny package that, as you can see, is smaller than a banana, and interesting in its setup. It also has a headphone jack directly on it, so if you want a really basic XLR setup so you can just get started and use the microphone for recording audio, but can't yet afford a full-blown system like the Rodecaster Pro 2 or something similar, then this is a great option. It either chunkily applies to the bottom of the microphone or can be connected up to the XLR cable, and I'd probably recommend doing it to the cable instead, because as you can see, the USB-C cable that's included with the device is pretty small, so you can put that on your desk and plug it in if you're not going to be far from that, or you can stretch the XLR cable across and plug it into that and then plug the USB cable into your PC. And there are some various lights and things in there to let you know it's working, and then you can just start recording. The bonus here is obviously you can also plug in your headphones so you can mic monitor from that, and also you can feed your audio through it. Really simple interface and really easy to set up, and it sounds pretty good too, so it does actually do a good job with this microphone, which is impressive considering its size. Don't let the size of the thing fool you though, because it is quite weighty, and you can see that it's around 100 grams, so if you're popping that on the microphone, that's another lot of extra weight there as well. So the purpose of this was I wanted to demonstrate how easy it is to set this microphone up and get it sounding good. Obviously I'm demonstrating it with the Shure interface here, which is very small and easy to set up and easy to use, but it also speaks to the quality of both this interface and of the microphone itself, because this is obviously a studio quality microphone designed to deliver good sound while also eliminating some background noise. You can see that I'm using it with the Shure Motive app here, and this is the basic setup. So it has an automatic level set up here where you can sort of tell it how far the microphone is from you, near or far, adjust the tone that you want out of it, set a gain level, turn phantom power on and off, and other things. Fairly straightforward, and that makes life a lot easier, because with XLR you often find there's a lot of tweaking in order to get it right. Now you can go into the manual settings in here, and you can see you have access to gain levels, high pass filter, compressor, limiter and other things, so you can tweak it and customize it a bit more if you know what you're doing. And you can also choose from presets based on what you're going to be doing, whether you're going to be singing and other things like that. It has some nice capabilities in what you can do with it and how to set it up really nicely. Obviously not as powerful as something like the Rodecaster Duo or Rodecaster Pro 2. I'm going to show you some of that now, but I just want to demonstrate this, and also just to be able to show, you know, with a basic setup like this, what it sounds like. So here's my current keyboard, and I'm just going to press the keys in the background, and maybe you'll be able to hear that and some of the fan noise from my PC, but not a great deal, I don't think. I certainly can't hear it with a mic monitoring, and it does a good job of eliminating that, especially if you've got the setup the right way. So obviously the gold dot on the side I'm talking into, not on this side, and that way this sound is eliminated. So if you've got a mic in a position where your voice is going into it, any sound coming from the other side is not going to get picked up anywhere near as much. And now you're hearing the microphone recorded through the Rodecaster Duo. This is a small production suite, which is an XLR interface that allows you to put in multiple different sound sources and have hardware sliders and audio controls, as well as FX buttons and sample pads and all sorts of other things. But naturally, it's a good addition to the NT1 Signature Series because it also offers Aphex processing and Revolution preamps to ensure you get a really good capture quality out of it. As you'll see, this little device warrants its own video, which I am going to do separately, but it offers up the inclusion of things like the ability to plug in extra microphones or musical instruments, for example. And more importantly, it makes the setup really straightforward because it gives you a number of different mic options on here to choose from, including the NT1, alongside various other Rode mics and the Shure SM7B. You can just tap on the microphone and then it'll apply the relevant settings and make sure you get good quality out of it. It also sets a default of around 30 decibels of gain, which you can adjust. And then you can see you can choose podcast studio, neutral, or broadcast sound as the default. I like the broadcast one, it sounds really rich. And then you can just get on with that, and you can customize it a bit more, but it makes the setup really straightforward. You can also do other clever things like throwing in some Bluetooth audio from your phone or connecting up the Rode Wireless Me microphone to it as a separate channel, which is something I've really enjoyed doing recently with the Rodecaster Pro 2, because it means that you can just quickly and easily use an external microphone with relative ease. The other advantage of this is that it also has a micro SD card slot, so you can pop that in there and then record directly onto the SD card from the device, meaning you can use this microphone or the wireless mic with ease. As you'll hear, this microphone sounds good with both these devices, but obviously a bit richer with the Rodecaster Duo. Once again, Rode has made another wonderful microphone that's well worth considering, although perhaps not as accessible as the NT1 5th generation. Without the USB connection, it is still pretty epic and sounds fantastic too. Subscribe to find out more about the Rodecaster Duo. You've made it right to the end of the video, you brilliant legend you. If you've enjoyed it, click that subscribe button, give me a thumbs up, and drop me a comment down below if you've got any questions. If you really enjoyed it, consider joining the channel and see the benefits of doing so. Check out these other videos, you might well find them interesting or useful, and most importantly, have a great life.